Wow. Well, look at that. You know, I was told in advance that I should have been expecting some kind of roommate. And as far as I do know, that you've already been in here before, but I haven't even looked at your room. Now let's restart this. Wow. Now if someone decides to show up right now, and at this time, actually, hold on. Before you even continue, do you even realize what the time is right now? Don't even bother looking. And then I'll tell you, it's 5 in the morning. And you're lucky that you weren't bothering me, because today ends up being my day off. So I get told I should be expecting a roommate pretty soon. And I have a feeling maybe you've already moved in some of your stuff. I did notice a few traces of someone being around here. And no, I have not been through your room. I don't care to see what potential disaster I'm waiting to walk into. So just like it's none of my business to look into your room, I hope that you also can realize that it's none of your business to be going into my room. So apparently what I'm getting is that you've already moved in basically all your stuff. Right. Though that doesn't exactly explain to me what caused you to not only be out so late, but then why show up so much later than any normal person would. Because the thing is that if this is something that isn't a necessity, then, and surprise, surprise, it's gonna end up bothering me and messing up my sleep. Well, of course, there's not much to it. What do you think someone's gonna start acting if they're used to living on their own, and now suddenly, now they have to get used to the sound of someone that isn't themselves opening the front door? Middle of the night, super early in the morning. You see what I'm getting at? And you're looking horrible, by the way. No, I'm not talking about your clothes. That's tolerable. It looks like you haven't, eaten anything. So you haven't eaten anything at all. And you look super tired. Or is that just how you normally look? Well, if it's not, then I'll think about doing something about it. But okay, so yeah, that would mean this is the first time we actually meet each other now. And guess for you it's only been actually more just like one day actually. So then, let me think. You got her stuff moved in. I guess what's left is to basically maybe give you a bit of a tour since, well, I'm actually here. Well, there's that, but there's also, I'm gonna have to put up a few certain rules because I haven't had the greatest experience with a few other certain roommates, and I would really like if you weren't yet another repeat of that. So, if your brain can process it, then it would be nice if you could be accommodating to that. At least just make the both of our lives easier. Because if I find out that you're someone that's really bad at taking care of themselves, actually maybe that part won't matter too much to me, but if you're horrible at taking care of your own space, and to an extent this whole space, I'm not going to be very happy about it. And then nor will you. Yeah, I kind of want to step out just for a bit. I always find, well, when I do have a moment or day off, then I like to just kind of, now I just be out here. And yeah, I get it. I know it might look a little strange that I have a whole tent behind me, but at the same time, there's the space for it, and that's what I'm using it for. Though, seriously, if you have something that you're thinking of moving in, say like, I don't know, maybe you're some kind of person that likes to grill outside, I guess, then you speak up about it. Because a very important thing is that, well, we're going to be sharing the space, and it should be very obvious that to have some kind of communication will help us a lot. So I know I'm coming off as a bit rough, but the thing is, I'm doing this just so I can hope that you can grasp what I'm trying to get at. If we work together, talk through and everything, then cool, everything's gonna work out, and we'll see about seeing it through, making it work, and then not be miserable. So that'll be a huge plus. That means we'll be basically above a bunch of other people that not only share the building, or even ones I know personally that just really want to leave. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm going for here. But as for all the other spaces, well, you have your own room. That's one thing, but it's completely empty, so there isn't really any furniture for you to be expecting in there. And then, well, there's my room. Never mind. I don't care about showing you my room. I just prefer my room being my own space. It's like some emergency or something, but normally I'd be just in the actual living room or the kitchen, just doing whatever. And if not, then I'll be out. I only really go to my room when I'm actually sleeping or just genuinely just want to be left alone. So part of me wonders if you're probably the same way. But I have dealt with other people that didn't really do much with their bedroom. As in, it was a catastrophic mess, and they never bothered to clean it up or anything, as they just spent most of their time just being out, which I guess is a good thing for them. But when you're out for so long, you're tuckered out and you neglect your own space, it kind of leaves me a little baffled. But if it's your own, if it's your own home and space, whatever. But that's not the case. We share the space, and so then it becomes problematic when anytime I can hear your door open, and then I can smell something questionable reeking from that room, I start having nightmares about it. So I can only hope. Actually, well, since you're listening to me, I think that's a good sign, more or less. Because some people just don't want to listen, I guess. So you're definitely already up there. So I guess you can feel good about yourself on that regard. So yeah, also don't expect me to be bothering you with stuff unless I really, really need it, or some rare favor, something like that. At this point, you more or less get the gist of, what my intentions are, of what I hope that this place can be. Because even aside from us being here, it's a genuinely really nice space. So whenever our time is up from this location, well, I would at least like it to be still suitable for anyone else that comes before us. I at least want to do that, offer that decency. But I guess I should get to the actual. I guess I should get more to the actual important things of the kind of rules, right? So first, I'll go down with how I spend my time here and how I operate, more or less, right? So I'll start with my day off. So for my days off, like today, for example, you typically just find me out here in the living room, typically late at night to the morning. And then during the day, you can expect me to have gone outside and just doing whatever comes across my mind. And yeah, later within that, or typically within, like right before it starts getting real dark out, is when I'll be in the kitchen. So if you're someone that does do their own cooking, then yeah, you might have to work around that. If not, that's fine. I mean, yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, I guess we can think about that arrangement too. I guess maybe I might as well, since I already do a bunch of cooking on my own. Yeah, I guess I could also cook for you. But maybe in return, how about for whatever it is you want, then you're going to have to be the one to supply the food. Does that seem fair? Yeah. Also, that means I do expect that basically for everything in the kitchen, just you're not going to be touching that. Although more generally as a rule, actually, now that I kind of touched on that, is any of my possessions, I would much prefer that you don't touch any of it. If you're unsure, then just tell me, and then I'll tell you if it was already here or something I got after. If you end up using something, then if you end up using something, please put it back where it was. And at the very least, please clean it too. And if for some whatever reason you don't trust yourself to clean it, okay, then just tell me. Just notify me about it. I would much prefer being aware of a mess than being surprised by a mess. So I'm giving you quite a bit of leniency for just doing that. Just as long as I know, as long as you say something, okay? Because I don't want to be dealing with things moving around, or maybe something broken, and then having this person not saying anything about it. Until then, I become the one who's using this thing just to find out it doesn't work. Maybe on that day I need it or something. And then, well, the whole day's ruined. And then, yeah, I'll be very angry. I'm maybe pissed off even. So I think it'll be in your best interest to avoid that. But yes, I can also show you that same courtesy where if you end up getting something, for example, maybe earlier, so you get yourself a grill or something, I'm not going to touch it. And if I were to, then I'll ask. Or maybe I'll ask you to be the one to use it. Does that sound good? I sure hope it does. Yeah, that's the for some like the really common things. The microwave, I mean, it's whatever. TV, that was already there. It's a really good one though. Most of the basic furniture, like right here, that was already there. Yeah, but really most of the other stuff, like say right out here in front and in the kitchen, a lot of that stuff I end up getting on my own. I guess another thing too is just be considerate when you're looking through the fridge. Just keep track of what's actually yours, and just don't touch any of my stuff. If something is really that enticing, then please, I beg you to just ask. Seriously. Because then maybe later I can get some more before coming home, opening the fridge just to see if there's nothing inside. So, yeah, that's like the biggest thing I can think of that I could grill you over. But yeah, I'd really hope that you can. Yeah, I just hope that you can, well, not only look after yourself, but also clean up after yourself. Because really the main thing is just keeping the other person aware of what's going on, instead of something happens and then feeling a little embarrassed about it and then just not saying a thing, hoping the other one doesn't notice. I don't want none of that going on here. So, yeah, maybe that's kind of it that came to mind. Although, since you're here now, well, although actually I didn't ask. I mean, if you're maybe hungry or something, then I can just go make something for you. I kind of did already have something in the works right now, so it's gonna be no big deal. Though don't know about checking out your room now. I kind of don't care, to be honest. Oh, maybe later when I feel like it. So after my nap or something. Then I suppose then you can feel free to show me that. But I have a really bad feeling that's gonna be, what's the word? Depressing to look at. Sometimes people just don't have that many belongings. Well, not like it's like a bad thing, I guess. It's just, it was throws me off when I'm used to getting my own things and decorating my spaces. So it looks better. I don't know how else to put it. That and I sometimes do expect people to come over. So I guess it's partly of that. But I mean, yeah, I put my own time here, so of course it's gonna end up becoming my space for however long I end up staying here. In which case, I do have a sure feeling that it'll be for quite a while. I treated this place well, and it's given me a lot. So, yeah, it wasn't a light decision when I decided to leave that second room free for someone else to move in. Again, I tried. I tried for other people here, and not a lot of good ones. And somehow for the better ones, it was very short while, not very long. The longest one was probably close to a year, actually. That person was, it was a bit bumpy, but not the worst thing. Yeah, for the really bad ones, nah, I couldn't even stand that for a month. And it's almost traumatizing. You know, you think about it where someone doesn't take care of their own space, and of course, what's happening is it gets all gross, it gets all stinky, and it really just gets into it really gets like in the carpet, and it's gross. And so then take the combination of not taking care of it and someone who doesn't know how to like clean it afterwards, it's gonna get worse. And like I get it that sometimes cleaning is not exactly intuitive for some people, but please, you have a phone and you can look it up, right? Maybe it'll cost you some money to get the things or the machine to do it. But it's like, I don't know. Actually, I do know, but it's just, I'll just end up rambling about it forever if if you ever end up dealing with that. It's just an incredibly frustrating thing when you realize that you let someone in that's just gonna make things worse for you. But I mean, all that's past now. Yeah, I, that does mean in that room you're staying in has seen some tough times, but also has been good through. There's some good ones. But don't worry. I gave it a good month just to sit there vacant while I cleaned everything and made sure it was back to how it was, or at least how I remember how it used to look like. And I just let it do its thing, airing it out, cleaning it, all that stuff. Although, I think I could have changed the rugs actually if I really wanted to, but then I would need approval for that. Never mind. It's something I was getting better at the more, I guess, those traumatic experiences that I go through. I can tell you more about it if you're really looking forward to being grossed out. Right now, I never had any pet owners here before. I like pets and everything, but just I don't like dealing with all the hair and stuff. I can't stand hair. And it'll be double worse too if you get a pet owner who just isn't exactly the most responsible, right? But that isn't even the main concern. It's just pet hairs just get everywhere. And this was past experience from having to share a house with my family and they had pets and everything. So once I was able to move out on my own, then it's so nice not to worry about, like, cleaning up everything and being concerned about hairs and of course can get stuck on your clothes and all that stuff. So you don't gotta worry about anything like pet hairs or remaining pet hairs that are still somehow around. No, none of that. And yeah, it's it'll be more quieter because of that. But also much less chance of anything being broken or torn apart. Yeah, I might as well show you around the kitchen for a little bit before I just go and take a nap now. Or, well, get the food done and then just go lay down and just be in my room. But yeah, as a general reminder, for you now is if I'm in my room, don't actually go to my room. If for whatever reason I'm needed, then hit up my number or, I don't know, knock, maybe call out my name. I don't know how I feel about that though, but you know what I mean. So, right, and I'm pretty sure you didn't have too much time to familiarize yourself with this amazing little kitchen space. It's a little more on the narrow side, but if it's just one person, say like for me, then not much problem. So yeah, I can microwave over there, although it's a bit more of an analog one. Where you gotta actually use the knob instead of punching in a number. I personally just prefer that one. It's been pretty good actually. And then the one above it is actually more of a, well, quote unquote, what they call it is an air fryer, but no, it's not. It's literally a tiny oven. So yeah, don't get that misconception. Ones that look like that and they'll call it an air fryer, is they're just lying to you. And you're welcome, by the way. Now you're a more smarter consumer now knowing that the actual air fryers are the ones that are more the vertical ones that are enclosed. But I mean, the thing is, that's still basically like a quote unquote oven. Because I mean, if you ever just take one apart, oh, well, maybe you don't gotta, but if you ever just look at one, it's literally one of those heating thingies from an electric stove with a fan on top, blowing it down into where the tray is. I mean, that's all it is actually. So, although for this one, since this one is more of an actual oven, it's like there's no fan in there blowing stuff around. It's just the like heating element thingy, and then it just heats up the thing. So yeah, I mean, maybe it was a bit of a rant, but the thing is, I want to differentiate that from, like, maybe if you thought those were air fryers, I didn't want to have you waste, say, I don't know, put in some chicken nuggets in there, and then they end up coming horrible because they're not meant for that. I I don't have an I don't have an air fryer here. I never I never really thought to have much like use for one. Because there really isn't a lot of stuff that would primarily rely on a air fryer to heat up, like say frozen food. But if some of that frozen stuff you do end up liking, then I guess you could I don't know, just buy your own air fryer, find a spot for it back here, and yeah, just be using that. But yeah, most of the time I just experiment and just make my own stuff. The fridge is pretty good too. Lots of space in there. Although the freezer is actually at the bottom and not at the top, so that'll throw you off a little bit. Yeah, I like barely use the freezer. Maybe like for for cooling off drinks real quick, and then that's it. Or maybe I throw something in there and then I forget about it, just to find that I just completely got frozen or turn into, what's that called again? Like, yeah, I never really typically use the freezer. You know, just unless I just accidentally make a slushy out of whatever it was I threw in there. Yeah, that happens. Unless that's what you like, then feel free to use it. Yeah, when I'm typically buying meat, I end up just making it on the same day. I don't really store for later or anything. It's not like I'm really preparing for parties or anything. You know, if I end up having more people, then typically I just order food. Yeah, though for the actual fridge itself, well, typically drinks and then the things I have there for like a day. But yeah, I don't store stuff for very long. I kind of just prefer not to keep track of that much stuff. Yeah, well, I'll make this brief since I just want to have a quick snack and just rest in my room. But we got. And what I'm preparing was kind of a sort of a home meal for me, but I don't mind splitting it now at this point. So basically, some butter toast, and with an egg on it, and some latte recipe that I found. I honestly forgot the name. I saw it and I decided to try to replicate it. And then, well, it is a pizza. It was like a margarita. I feel like I kind of messed it up, but it kind of looks like one. So I think I got that presentation down. Still, it's edible. And then just a water there. So I guess I can be yours. I'll take the latte. I actually want to try that. So yeah, so feel free to basically get whatever you want, and yeah, maybe I'll be seeing you later in the day when I wake up. Or I guess we might get up at the same time since whatever it was you were doing. Yeah, we're busy enough to show up really late. I mean, that's whatever. I'm not gonna be. No, I'm not gonna be watching over everything it is you do or where you go, and all that stuff. No, none of that. It was more so just the the absurd late time you decide to show up at. Because for my sake, I just want to know if that's a regular thing or if that's something that can be adjusted so it doesn't bother me, bother my sleep. Well, I mean, yeah, I'd have to also know yours so I can adjust my schedule accordingly. Cause yeah, the walls here are pretty good. The doors are pretty good. That they can actually drown out a bunch of sound. But there's still certain things where sometimes you might just feel the air pressure shift because someone just entered through the front door. They're used to a certain sound from the keys, and that's enough to like wake me up. And stuff like that. I mean, people have their own certain triggers that somehow wakes them up in some way. I'd say so. I mean, sometimes I literally wake up because I hear a certain person. Yeah. Or how I can. I mean, I'm always able to sleep through like very loud things, like storms and everything. But when I hear someone open my door, I just instantly wake up. I don't know, I guess it's just that distinct sound that if it's not me making that sound, then maybe my mind is like, wait, something's happening. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And, you know, could be a sort of defense mechanism. I don't know. So if you're aware of that and certain sounds, just tell me so I can start triggering them. Yeah, it's late. I feel like I even tuckered myself out from just giving you the rundown. Yeah, and don't be mean, please. And don't be rude. Don't get all mean with me either. You want to find out the hard way. So far, you've been quite accommodating. So, good sign. +1, plus rep. Indoors, whatever other stupid thing I can think of. So, yeah, part of me feels like I'm probably like forgetting something, but if I remember later, then I'll just bring it up to you. Yeah, we all got our own things to do and worry about, so. Alright. You get your own share and then I get mine. I guess I might see you later. Oh, I guess it might be about time to see what your space is like. There's no way you can be real about this. There is no way that this is actually everything you had. I don't know if I should feel relieved or distraught at the lack of things here. Now, I don't know if I should be feeling relieved or just distraught at the lack of things here. So So what's to really see here? A TV, a PlayStation, mattress, blanket, pillow. Yeah. Somehow this chair, and then yeah. And then you somehow a box too. Is it even full of anything? No? Okay. Well, I guess for you that's a... No, that's wrong. For the both of us, I guess that's a good thing. Cleaning your place is gonna be super easy. Well, you're gonna do the cleaning, not me. So what should I expect you to do for the most part? So if you're not out, then just kind of here, just like playing your own stuff. Huh. I don't know, it's a little bizarre, but I guess it's kind of interesting just not kind of having anything in here. I suppose you only have to worry about inviting other people over if you're not expecting anyone. Unless you're just completely okay with people seeing just how vacant your space is. Yeah, I guess there's a good thing with simplicity, or just not exactly being a materialistic person. Yeah, as long as it's comfortable for you and it basically provides you with everything that you want, there's no harm in that. Yeah, it actually could have been way worse. You're right about that. Yeah, I wasn't lying. I spent a lot of time making sure this whole thing was pristine before you showed up. It used to be horrible. Yeah. So the last bed, or more like the last person that actually had a bed, it was more like it was within that corner over there. And so unfortunately that meant that there was the gap between the actual bed, mattress, and then the actual floor that existed. And then they had some plastic containers under there to keep their stuff away. But the thing is, they never actually, well, as far as I'm aware, person had never actually moved it out on occasion to just clean it or just wipe off whatever dust might be there. It never happened. So unsurprisingly, you just run your hand through there and you just feel cobwebs. Oh, that's nice. And then, unsurprisingly, then the outline, the immediate outline of the bed, then it was starting to get darker and darker as time went on. Yeah, well, not like, too dark where I couldn't clean it out. Fortunately, I was able to. Fortunately, I was able to get off that nonsense. Yeah, no, it's just me that cleans it up. I don't hire anyone else. No, I would. Maybe that could be a consideration. It was really, really bad. But even for some companies, they don't even bother touching anything that's too severe. And I hope to avoid getting to remotely near that level. So yeah, there's been a few tragedies going through, man. Even sometimes just leaving the garbage around. Like, at least put it in a bag, I guess. Yeah. It might not even be for even in here too. Even other neighbors have interesting habits. so to speak. There's one actually right below where, for some reason, whenever they do take out trash, quote unquote, they just leave it outside, right next to their front door, or right next to their apartment door. So that's like actual trash bags, cardboard, right, and that kind of stuff. And basically leaving it for later, essentially. So then later in the day, when they actually wake up, then that's when they actually do go take it out. And so I wonder, why not just take it out properly? Because the thing is, you still have trash inside. You know, maybe you're taking out trash because, like, probably flies or something, right? This is just more of a hypothetical. But say, you know, your garbage ends up attracting flies because of, I don't know, just whatever food you have there, right? Or just anything really. Oh man, even like moldy stuff too. That's a really annoying one, and a really concerning one. Or maybe some of that food might be moldy, or whatever you tossed in there is moldy. And just to tie it up and leave it in front of the door, it's just, I don't think that's very smart to do. Even if, like, for the most part, it's just been okay. So I don't know, maybe there's like a certain complacency with them that they decided just to keep doing that. They still do, actually, but nothing, unfortunately, nothing bad happened out of that. But yeah, I wouldn't imagine myself doing that if, say, my trash had something, I knew something bad was in there. I just want to take it out immediately. You know, you can't spend just those few little minutes just to take it out properly. And there's two of them in there too. It's not just one. So my guess is that they take it out when they go out for work. Interesting they are. Well, they're nice for the most part. Just I don't know. No, I never bothered asking about that. I don't know if there might ever be a good time to ask about it. So it might be seen as, like, rude or something. Yeah. However much that means. Though I gotta say though, I'm liking the TV. A pretty good one. Looks good and doesn't have all that unnecessary attachments to it. I like it. Well, anyway, it's about my time to start heading out, and well, it's not that I don't want to. It's just I know I'm gonna get really tired. Just some family stuff that's coming up, so they're gonna be needing me, I guess. It's gonna be a bit of a drive away, but I'll see what comes out of it. Probably worth it. Might be fun. Yeah, but in the meantime, please just don't make a mess of the place. If something happens, notify me. And yeah, if you don't trust yourself with something, just don't touch it. You know, like, I really don't mind if you're just ordering a bunch of takeout, just so you can avoid, you know, messing with the kitchen or anything. I'd much appreciate that. I'd even pay you back for some of that, actually, if you did that. Maybe leave me leftovers. I'd be cool with that. But yeah, I gotta get going now. Well, yeah, I gotta get going now. I don't know what you're gonna do, but You can tell me about it later. Yeah, well, I do appreciate you sitting through this and hearing me out on everything I gotta say. And yet, I I do get told that sometimes I come off as a bit rough. Maybe I have like a mean resting face or something. It's like I'm not really like spiteful or hateful or anything, just unfortunately that's just kind of how I look normally. And I don't really think about it until someone thinks that I hate them. But then then someone else tells me about it, and then I tell them, no, actually that's just how I am. And then I have to go clarify that. No, I don't hate you actually. It's just my face. My neutral expression, I guess. Yeah, you go enjoy and have fun with whatever it is you're gonna do. Yeah. I'll probably be seeing you either very late today or tomorrow, actually. Well, at least you're understanding. There may be potential for having a really good roomie now.